I love what you're saying, because I'm really, moving into a space where I want to be a hope dealer. I don't want to be dealing with apathy that steals hope, the apathy stealer. For me, it's so important that, when we go out, and this is why, this, why I started Conscious Leaders, is also not to separate women from men, but to bring women together so that we can, we like to talk a lot and we like to have a lot of conversations and spread our ideas, and we have opinions on everything, and we gather facts from nowhere to somewhere, and we are storytellers. And I just wanted to bring us together in a space where we can be all of that and also embrace our feminine side, but also become conscious of systemic issues and see what our role is to play now that we are surpassing and out-educating men. We can't blame men for everything in our lives. So we have to start looking at, how can we change, because the baton has been handed over. What are we doing with that power? And how are we doing something that's better for all now that we have that baton?
Absolutely. And, you've touched on a point that's very important to me. And this is perhaps one of the reasons why I serve as a leader at the APSIP Women in Focus. And our focus there really was to advance Black women in the financial services sector. And what we, have done over the past 3 years is help skill them in areas of leadership so that they could actually prepare themselves for the next level. We like to see ourselves as the game changers of, finance is something that drives the economy. So every sector depends on a financial base somehow. And if we have empowered, skilled women in those spaces, we strongly believe that as an organization that these women will be able to make the decisions that also empower women in the different areas around the sector, without having to exclude men in this conversation, which is very important, right? You kind of say the kind of problems we have, and if you want to have inclusivity, sometimes it will be the man that is required to make the decision to say, hang on, I'm going to employ women in my team. Hang on, I want to collaborate, or hang on, I want to hear what women would say about this. And that's why you cannot exclude them, because they are, or perhaps the corporate environment was designed by them, for them. And so when you try to come across as an attack to their position as opposed to a partner or a collaborator in the change making of this process, then you will alienate them and make them feel threatened, and sometimes we may not see the progress that we want to see. So I do think it's an important conversation to say, we need men for this transformation. We cannot do it alone. Yes, we are going to be the major beneficiaries of the decisions that are made henceforth, but we're not saying don't hire men at all. We're saying if your team needs a certain requirement or certain number, consider that you add more females into this space so that we can also get the experience of working in these environments. We can make decisions that make women thrive in these organizations, because one thing that we've also observed is that, and South Africa is also moving in the right direction. Women CEOs were very few, and if they did make that level, they wouldn't last long in those positions. Why? Because of the kind of environment and the expectations that would be wanted from them. So we find that, if there is enough support for women in those roles, then they're able to make decisions that say, hang on, I'm a mom, I'm a CEO, or hang on, I'm a community leader, I'm a CEO, and I don't have to act like a man to succeed in my role. I don't have to be a man in my role, and I can tap into my greatness as a female in this role to make the right decisions that will make this organization thrive. And I think the most important thing is that all of us want the same thing. We want growth, we want progress.
Yes.
So even in the roles that we take up in society, I want to work for an organization that will show sustainable growth, because that means we are evolving, we are growing, we are progressing, and we're also able to give back to communities that are deserving or underserved as well.